All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking real music and doing it in real time for a few real people just like you there. Right there is, yeah. And just like me here, for those who really enjoy the pointing. I'm going to start waving instead. Hey, over here. Um, so Aerosmith is in the news, and this is surprising. Did not have this one on my bingo card. Now, before I get to Aerosmith, my friends over at Paris Records sent me this CD last week, so I'm still plugging it for you, Tom. Paul Lydell's Scream Therapy. It's called Are You Ready? If you like all of that slimy, sleazy, glammy stuff that happened late 80s into the early 90s, this is your ticket right here. Okay? Paul was in two bands that were pretty popular, Dangerous Toys and Dirty Looks. I love it when I get dirty looks, right? Give me some dirty looks, man. This is some pretty good stuff. So order yourself a copy. Paris.com is the place to go. That's Perris, Paris Records. A very good label down in Texas. Really keeping the spirit of that stuff going, which I got to commend Tom and his crew down there for doing that. Now, Aerosmith, they're still going, apparently. They've got this song out there with somebody by the name of Youngblood, who is very up and coming in the world of rock music. He spells his name Yungblud, in case you wanted to know. No, I don't think he's a rapper. Kind of sounds like a rapper's name, right? Or the way they spell it. But Aerosmith has gone to the top of what's called the Hot Hard Rock Songs chart this week. They went all the way to number one. This, according to Billboard magazine. The song is called My Only Angel. Now, I took the liberty of going to listen to the song before I would, do this video. And it's a good song. It's actually good. I was thinking there are going to be production gimmicks I don't like. There's going to be a lot of thumping. There's going to be a lot of yelling in the song. I mean, the choruses today in these songs are just so grating and so shrill. The production is all compression and I just usually hate the stuff because it just doesn't sound good to the ears. But this is a pretty straightforward, not super heavy, but, rockin' little mid-tempo song by Aerosmith and Youngblood. Now, Youngblood has been on this chart before, if you care to know about that, back in 2020. He had a song called Obey with someone or something called Bring Me the Horizon, but that went pretty far up the charts, I guess, all the way to number one. The song is also a top 40 hit on mainstream rock airplay, debuting at number 37. So that's very interesting because Aerosmith obviously spent a lot of time on that chart, which started back in 1981. Aerosmith appeared on the mainstream rock airplay chart 45 times, hitting number one 9 times and landing in the top 10 24 times. This is their first appearance on that chart since a song they put out called Lover a Lot back in 2012, a track from their last studio album, Music from Another Dimension, which technically Aerosmith is music from another dimension. But the mainstream rock world right now is typically bogged down in the stuff that I was describing at the beginning there, the production values. It tends to be very dark. We're carrying over from 30 years of grungy singers who all kind of sound like Cookie Monster to me, but that's just me. I'm listening and I hear Steven Tyler and I'm happy. And this guy Youngblood he's tolerable. He's very tolerable, so good for them. It's the first track off this collaborative EP called One More Time, which comes out on November 21st, along with the song My Only Angel. It includes 3 new songs, plus an updated take on Back in the Saddle Again, the song that I think broke Stephen's larynx. So hopefully he took precautions. I'm sure he didn't sing at full strength, or I don't know. You can do stuff in the studio. It's just AI, right? It's a bunch of, you like this song, but it's actually AI, Dave. Could be. It's actually not a bad track. It's called My Only Angel. So go check it out. I'm surprised. I didn't think it was going to be something I would listen to, but could even be played on a classic rock station, folks. It could be. Put it next to like Dream On. This is how change the audience a little bit, or warm the audience up. You say, hey, we're actually gonna play a new track this hour. Of course, if everything is automated, there's nobody there to tell you you're gonna hear this song called My Only Angel. There's no back selling, there's no front selling, there's no selling. Okay, it's all, well, there is. They're selling commercials. That's what they're doing. Your Dodge dealership or your Chevy dealership or your local pizza place or whatever, you'll hear ads running for like 6 minutes, and then you'll get back to the music, and by then you're already bored and going over to Spotify where you've got a playlist made. So the radio industry has some issues right now. They really do. They've got some competition issues, but it's good. These guys are on the mainstream rock charts, and they're just like, I don't know, almost expired, Aerosmith. We wish them well. We hope that Steven Tyler will go back out there and maybe they'll do a couple of shows. It might not be feasible, but I'm thinking they're putting out music. They're putting the signs out there that they're going to continue on. All right. So before I go, Paul Lydell's Scream Therapy, Are You Ready? Courtesy of Paris Records. Wouldn't it be cool if something like this could get onto the mainstream rock charts? That's funny, right? Because it's got that old glam rock flavor to it. And yeah, they're not going to play glam, unfortunately, on these stations. They look at this as very cheesy and outdated. But this is the kind of music a lot of people were listening to when everything got upended. And, I've come under a little bit of scrutiny because I've said that grunge single-handedly messed up the music world. And there were a number of factors that contributed to that. But I stand by most of that. I really do, especially after listening to that Pearl Jam album the other day from start to finish. That was painful, folks. I mean, that made me like Nirvana, okay? Not like, but, could say, okay, matter of degrees. I mean, I'd rather listen to stuff like this. I mean, stuff that's kind of unknown, that's got hooks, and I don't know. That's me, though. Everybody's different, and I didn't feel all that depressed after listening to Scream Therapy. It actually was kind of like Scream Therapy. So there you go. Great name for a band. Perfect. All right. I'm done. Thanks for watching. God loves you. Don't forget, God loves you. It's not up to you. God's done a bunch of stuff for you. What you need to do is say, okay, I trust God. I believe in God. I trust God. That's kind of it. And God will hold on to you. That's the way it works. There's not much of a transaction there because Jesus paid it all. Now, if you want to talk about good works and stuff, those are as a result maybe of gratitude, maybe of thinking that I should serve God somehow, but that doesn't make you more saved than you already are. Okay? It doesn't like fix what God didn't completely do. That's when people start talking like that, I go, really? So how much of that stuff do you have to do? Where's the line? When do you get to the point where you know you've done enough? So this is why works are a fallacy, and that's why Martin Luther did what he did. He's like, no, this doesn't make any sense. You guys are making people do all these things, and you're determining who's in with God and who's not in with God, and that's ridiculous. That's why we had the Reformation, which was much needed. All righty. See you soon, folks. Thanks for watching.